Hi. This week's lecture is meant to introduce to you the various types of political and economic systems that exist in the world to better understand what our own is. And to start with that, we're going to really talk about what's the difference between politics and economics, because they really are different things. And I think Americans often confuse them when they think of our country as being capitalistic and democratic. People often think that those are just essentially go hand in hand and are almost one and the same thing. Whereas we're really talking about two different aspects of our system, one being our economy, which is capitalistic largely, and our political system, which is by and large a democracy. So this lecture will help you give you a better understanding of what those words mean, how we measure them, and how different societies might combine them. We actually have one presidential candidate, Bernie Sanders, who calls himself a socialist. And for a lot of his opponents, that almost disqualifies him from being president. It seems anti-American and perhaps even undemocratic to some people. But in reality, if we're talking about socialism, we're talking about an economic system that might contrast with capitalism. It really has little to do with whether or not the country is democratic. So you could have a social system that's highly democratic, or it's possible to have one that isn't, as existed in the Soviet Union and in China for a long time. So anyway, hopefully it'll give you a better understanding of what Americans are talking about when they say something is anti-democratic or anti-capitalistic. Once we kind of understand the difference between economics and politics and the different kinds of political and economic systems that are out there, we want to look at how they connect. And the reality is some people say, despite there being a separate aspects of economics and politics, what we have is really one big system, and that is known as a liberalist system, or liberalism, classical liberalism. And our country is built on the foundations of classical liberalism. And so to understand that and the idea that liberalism is a system that combines capitalism and democracy is essential to understanding really what we are as a nation, how we contrast with some other systems. It's also important to understand liberalism in its classical sense as opposed to common language we use today in terms of saying Obama is more liberal than Ted Cruz, or Hillary Clinton is less liberal than Obama, or anything like that, or someone's more conservative than someone else. We'll talk about those meanings in a few weeks. But take a look at liberalism, the values inherent in our kind of individualistic society. And the last part of the lecture will sort of say, how is the liberal promise paying off? Has our government really provided us the freedom and voice and opportunity that it does? And are we truly a democracy? And are we truly a free market system? And to what extent should we and have we steered a slightly different path? So enjoy it and good luck, and talk to you later.